How we doing there, boys and girls? Mantheus here, and welcome back to another video. And boy, do I have a meaty little tip for you today. This was something very weird that I spotted on the WoW Economy subreddit yesterday. Good reason why you should go over there and check it out, because you can get some good tips from it. And I'll introduce you to exactly what it was, and I did a bit of research into it. Somebody posted that there's a massive increase in price to the Phantasmal Haunch. Now, why is a virtually worthless Shadowlands piece of meat spiking in price dramatically? Well, as I do with virtually any sort of tip or hint that I get on this, I ask myself the question why, and I decide to dive into it and research it and work out why the hell has somebody taken it upon themselves across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus a whole bunch more servers decided to buy out and relist all of the Phantasmal Haunch for crazy levels of price. Well, there's a element of stars aligning. This doesn't happen very often, and it often goes unseen, but the people that do keep ahead of the game spot these things early enough, and somebody, I wish I could take credit for this myself, but I can't. Somebody has had the ballsy move to go through a whole bunch of servers and completely buy out the markets and relist the price on this seemingly worthless piece of meat. Let's find out why. So, first thing I tend to do is I just do a bit of research into the item. I'm obviously very aware of the Phantasmal Haunch. It's one of the new meats that was added in Shadowlands. It primarily is used in the Feasts of Gluttonous Hedonism. I wish they would name the feasts something easier to say. But as you can see, it is primarily used alongside some of the ribs. We always know that the ribs are pretty valuable on most realms for the one simple reason that ribs, if you're going out to farm ribs themselves, are actually quite difficult and annoying to farm for. Yet when you do get them, you know, that's hence why they share a reasonable price. But equally, you need 10 ribs to make a feast, and you need 10 pieces of Phantasmal Haunch to make a feast. But why is this important? Mantheus, the raid is over. We're mid-season 1 at least. We've got ages until 9.1 comes out. Why in the world is anybody going to be interested in crafting and or selling feasts right now? Well, if you haven't seen my past video that I released about patch 9.0.5, we now have a release date. It's coming out next reset. It's literally right around the corner, and with that patch we are getting the introduction of Valor. Valor is going to be acquired through Mythic Plus dungeons. What do people do when they want to run a whole bunch of Mythic Plus dungeons? They either craft up or they buy a load of feasts. It's all starting to make sense. So, when we know why Phantasmal Haunch is in somewhat of a demand, or may in the next coming days be even more in demand, we got to ask ourselves the next question of, well, how easily can we get this said material? Where does it come from? How do we go get it? How have people got it in the past? And ultimately, why has it been like trash level prices for so long in Shadowlands? Well, mainly because one of the reason why fundamentally that I could find is that it drops from Gorm Raveners, which were a very popular skinning spot in the northern part of Ardenweald. One thing has changed though. It was a bit of a stealthy under the radar nerf. These fellas no longer drop leather. They now, when you skin them, they only give you grey items, which has meant that all of the skinners who were previously just grinding away with their primary focus to get heavy callous hide, you know, the regular skinning materials, they were just getting this Phantasmal Haunch as a sort of a byproduct, and was just throwing it on the auction house and getting as much for it as they can. All of those people that were technically farming the Phantasmal Haunch are now not, because they're not killing these things and not skinning them. This has meant that over the last, it's for certain over the last week, people have stopped farming it. Now, of course, this is not the only place you get this item from. It does drop from a whole bunch of, if we look very quickly dropped by, it comes from a bunch of things, but the primary source for it up until this point has been those Gorm Ravengers. you can kill a few elites and they have a reasonable chance of dropping it, but outside of that, outside of elites, there's not really many easy ways to get it. There are a few other things in Ardenweald where you can go and get it, but by far that was the primary place to get it. So what we now need to do is understand, well, why have people started to make this, why have people seen this as a good flipping opportunity? Well, so we look at the Undermine Journal. This is the research I do with every time I see something like this to try and work out if it's worthwhile bringing to you guys or for me investing in myself. So let's have a look. This is the Phantasmal Haunch on the Undermine Journal. And what we can see if we look at the EU region prices is, as of the beginning of the year, there's been crazy amounts of it. There's been like a couple of million of it on across the EU at all times. And you can see it falls into that sort of trash price era. It's like region wide, it's had a value of about 3, 4, 5 gold, nothing more than that. Of course, on the high population servers, the value of this stuff has been like literally in the silver. It's been trashed, throwaway, nobody cares about it. But since people have stopped farming and skinning so much, the quantity has slowly started to decrease to the point where over the last couple of weeks we've gone in the EU from 2 million available across the entire region down to only 1.2 million. It's halved in quantity over the last couple of weeks. This is where opportunities arise. We foresee that in the next coming days or weeks, people are going to want to start buying feasts, crafting feasts, selling feasts, buying feasts, everything to do with feasts. And because of that, people have taken it upon themselves to go, right, we're going to buy out all the supplies and make it more difficult. We've not started to see the huge spike in region price, because of course the region price is an average, but on certain servers where people have started to do this, it's having a dramatic effect. This is actually, I picked up a realm that I'm playing on a little bit at the moment, Torin Mill. Torin Mill is a really high population server, and you can start to see people have been getting a sniff of this for a little while. The quantity available has been coming down and down and down and down and down as people have stopped farming for it, to the point where the prices have started to go up pretty heavily. So the stars are aligning, boys and girls. Totally random for a piece of seemingly worthless Shadowlands meat to be in the limelight again, but it is. We had the same thing happen with Monolite Ore a couple of weeks ago for slightly different reasons, but here we go. There's your top tip of the day, boys and girls. Check the price of Phantasmal Haunch on your realm. If you're on one of the realms where it's still floating around at like the silvers, 1, 2 gold a piece, consider buying some, because it's going to be in demand quite soon. It's a ballsy move by somebody to kind of set the ball rolling, but there's opportunities here. There's definitely opportunities here. But I'll leave it there for today, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed this tip. I hope you make a bunch of gold out of it. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.